online with the MFA. Those who need consular assistance can contact the MFA duty office directly. Singapore Airlines and Scoot have also ceased flying over Iranian airspace as of 1 p.m. last Saturday. A spokesman says the airlines have diverted to alternative flight paths. Changi Airport Group says travellers should check with their airlines to see if their flights have been affected. And finally,
Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. It's Glenn, Angel, and Daphne coming to you live from Brisbane, Australia.
G'day and happy Monday. We are broadcasting live from the Museum of Brisbane, which is located in the very beautiful City Hall of Brisbane. Now, it's only an 8-minute stroll away from where we're staying on George Street at the Adina apartment hotels, and it's
also gorgeous.
Such a nice little walk if you're thinking of getting some arts and culture in. It's so well located.
And in just a while, we'll find out more about the Museum of Brisbane and thank, of course, the CEO of the Museum of Brisbane, Zoe Graham. She's going to be on the show in just a while. But let's talk a little bit about what we did over the weekend.
Oh my God!
What did we not do?
Exactly. I mean, I had 2 bucket list items that I managed to tick off just by going to Tangalooma alone. But we also kicked off the weekend going to Eat Street North Shore, which was absolutely fabulous.
What a unique place, right?
Gorgeous.
Made up of 180
Containers.
shipping containers.
More than 70 different places that you can choose from to eat. 5 stages of performances.
I didn't believe the 70 stores, but then walking around, I got lost.
They have everything.
There's so many food stores.
We've got
many stages as well.
right. Okay, we've got a video right now. Watch this. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Hey, it's Glenn, Angel, and Daphne, and we're here at Brisbane, and we're about to walk into a very exciting area. It's called Eat Street North Shore, and it's made up of over 180 recycled shipping containers.
And within Eat Street North Shore, there was then 70 traders hawking all sorts of food from all over the world.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for Little Octopus. Are you excited to eat? Are you ready?
I am so hungry.
I'm so hungry. Let's go!
Let's go!
Now, John, we're here at this beautiful place. Could you tell us how this all started?
So they decided that something down the other end that was loud, like a big market that might be able to attract people. And we came in and decided that instead of doing a market, a food market, which there are a lot of, that we'd do something at night and turn it into a nighttime precinct which would have some entertainment, plenty of good food, and lots of other interesting things that are going to happen. So we started it in 2013.
Okay.
In 13, which is
11 years ago.
Yeah, just about coming up. And everybody said to us, it's not going to work. It's too far out of town. There's not much transport. There's no public transport. And they said, you're really not going to make this work at all. So we went in with one foot on the accelerator and one on the brake. And thankfully, from the day we opened, it was chock-a-block. Full. And we used to shut the door and let people go out and then let people come in. It was like a nightclub. There were so many people. And it's been like that ever since.
I'm here with Sunny, who is the owner of Little Octopus right here and at Eat Street. So this is some of the menu items, or items on the menu. But can I ask first, why Little Octopus? Why did you call your store Little Octopus?
Yeah, because our menu is specialized on the octopus and most cooking on the grill. And we have a big style on the top of our container. It's a big octopus on top.
Oh!
And we try to name our shop more, little, make it different.
What is the favorite between
The favorite.
Singaporeans, among Singaporeans?
Most of them, they come in for the octopus on the stick.
This one?
Yeah, because it's quite very different and they're huge. It's almost like a 45 centimeter long.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you can't really find this kind of the product in the rest of a lot of restaurants in Australia. Yes.
It's very unique, for
Yes,
sure.
very unique. Yes.
What is this? Also your bestseller? in
It's a
general?
bestseller. Yeah,
Okay,
bestseller.
and do you cut it up? They just eat it like this off the stick?
Yeah, on a stick.
Okay, amazing.
We're speaking to Master Shucker Nick Green right here.
That's me.
Now, Nick is from Shuck It Oysters, which you can find right here at Eat Street. Now, Nick, these are wonderful. I'm wondering, where do you source your oysters?
We get them from all over the place. So we have farms in Tasmania, New South Wales, South Australia, even we've got a couple over in Western Australia as well. So in Tasmania, most of those oysters are grown in a bay. So they take on a creamier sort of texture with a nice salty flavour. Your Coffin Bay oysters down in South Australia, grown open water, so they get much more salty, much brinier. Then your Sydney Rock oysters, that's actually grown in your rivers and estuaries, so they're more sweet, tangy, that umami flavour comes out.
Right, so it doesn't mean the bigger the oyster, the tastier it is.
I think the smallest are the tastiest.
How long does it take to learn the art of shucking?
I'd say to be proficient, at least 6 months, and then to be really, really good, it's probably at least 3 years.
And now it's time for the best part of the evening. It's the sweet stuff. And I'm sitting here with Melinda Mixco. I like the fact that it's not the usual round donut where you get everything over your mouth.
That's right.
So everything goes right in. What would you say is your best seller at Donut Bar?
So that would be the original fries, cinnamon sugared, cooked fresh to order. And we also have the different variations. For example, this one that's served with super premium quality soft serve ice cream. This is the surprise donut fries, which was inspired by the Kinder Surprise chocolate.
The Kinder Bueno.
That's correct.
If one were to come here to Eat Street, besides stopping at Donut Bar,
That's correct. Very important.
Very important to stop for your sweet.
Yes.
What is your one recommended thing to do?
one of the recommended things to do. If you like henna, to get some beautiful henna on your hands, for example, or if you like animals and maybe if you have some puppies, you can also pop by at the puppy store where there are some treats for the fur babies as well as some cute little outfits and things like that.
What an awesome place.
I love it.
I want more of the donut fries.
Oh
They're
my
so
goodness.
good.
No, when we
can't
walked
stop.
in, I looked at Daphne. I'm like, there's a pet store here.
I know.
First
yes.
thing you said to me, yeah.
So
yeah, but we didn't get
exciting.
anything though.
No, we
were-
didn't. We were so busy. We were so
Exactly.
busy doing
Okay.
getting all this content out.
But you know what? Daphne Koo actually took to the stage and sang.
For her supper.
Tell us a little bit more. Daphne.
Volunteered by Glenn. So of course, I mean, I feel so blessed that both of you are so proud of me and what I do because I feel like I'm sitting with legends, you know,
Aw.
every time I get to do the morning show with you guys. But yes, he was telling John, you know, oh, Daphne's a singer, and then so many stages. So we picked one of the stages, and they had a song that I knew, and so I hopped on and sang with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the intro kind of got cut off early on. The first person I spoke to was a very important man, all right? But I didn't get to introduce him just now on that little, video snippet there. His name is John Stainton, and he's the director of
And
Eat
founder of
Street.
Eat Street, yeah.
That's right. Okay, so that's the John Daphne was talking about. Anyway, here we go. This is Daphne Koo.
Nice.
Lots and lots of fun.
It's a shame we couldn't show the whole video, but it was an amazing rendition of I Will Survive.
Oh,
Well
thank
done.
Okay, let's go.
All the great songs in one place. Kiss 92.
G'day and welcome to The Big Show, live from Down Under. You'd be hopping mad to miss it.
Okay, welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Coming to you live from Brisbane right now from the Museum of Brisbane. We have with us the CEO, Zoe Graham. Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning. Welcome to Museum of Brisbane and to Brisbane. It's so great to have you all here.
Thank you for the hospitality. I mean, let's jump straight in. Zoe, tell us a little bit more. Like, how long have you been here, a director at the museum, and why should people come?
Well, I'm really lucky. I've just stepped into the role about 10 months ago, so I'm the new CEO and director. I've loved this museum for a long time. I went to university here in Brisbane, have always been involved in arts and culture in this city. So when the opportunity to join the team here came up, I put my hand up and really went for it. It's an amazing museum here, right in the heart of Brisbane. You can hear the clock tower, bells ringing.
City Hall bell?
That
or
is,
oh,
yeah, and they go every 15 minutes, and that is one of the amazing things we have here at Museum of Brisbane and City Hall is the amazing clock tower, and that's a great place to start your visit to Brisbane.
Zoe, I don't know whether this is going to be a silly question from me, but why every 15 minutes and not every hour?
Well, when the clock was first built, and I can't remember the date, 1926, this clock was the clock. This was the time teller for the city. So people all around the city, right throughout Brisbane, even out into the suburbs, used the clock tower here at City Hall to tell the time. So therefore, it needed to go every 15 minutes. So people knew if it was 1:15, 1:45, if they were running late for work, for their date, whatever it might be. And that tradition of keeping the clock tower chiming every 15 minutes continues. Now, so people still do use it as a way to tell the time of the day.
And you think, what do you think the radius is that people can hear the chime?
Well, I know that before the city really built up around, so the city that we know today, lots of high-rises and lots of inner city building, that in the early days you could hear it out to probably that sort of 5-kilometre radius around the CBD. So it really played a very important part of this city's industry and business.
I love that you say that people still use it to keep time, because I grew up spending a lot of time with my maternal grandmother, and she had clocks like these, grandfather clocks and all that. You didn't have to look at the clock to know what time it was. It was either like 5:15 or 5:45 just by the way it chimed. So I love that people are still doing that here as well in Brisbane.
Yeah. So, do you have a clock like that?
My mom still has clocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that chime. So every time I hear something like this, it reminds me of home.
Well, it is. And actually, we get lots of lovely stories like that from our visitors, many of our visitors to the city, even people who have lived here their whole life, bringing friends and family from overseas or interstate. But so many people speak to this clock in particular, and the clock tower being a really special place in their memory. So we're really privileged and honoured here at the Museum of Brisbane that we get to share that with thousands and thousands of visitors every year. Our wonderful team here take people on tours every 15 minutes, 7 days a week, 362 days a year. So it's much loved. It's much loved.
What's the average footfall per day?
Look, we get anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 visitors a day during our school holidays. So we've just had the lovely Easter break. We were hitting up at around 1,800, 2,000 visitors a day. We see a real burst during the school holidays because we put on lots of wonderful free or low-cost drop-in activities for children and families. So our visitor numbers really jump. Lots of kids, grandparents coming in to not only look at the stories and the art, but also to participate and do some making while they're here.
Right. So you hear that, Singapore? The Museum of Brisbane is a must visit when you come here.
Yeah, so we'll find out a little bit more from Zoe when we go on the Big Show TV.
That's right.
Some stories that you might be able to share, and maybe what exhibits people can look forward to. So join us on Kiss 92's Facebook and YouTube channel.
Go big or go home. Wake up, turn up. The Big Show. Kiss 92.
Good morning. It's Monday, the 15th of April.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Zoe, I mean, you say you've only been here for 10 months, but I'm sure you have bags full of stories, whether it's from a visitor locally or overseas.
Absolutely. Look, in fact, in my first 2 weeks here on the job, I think I learnt more about this city and the incredible past, the stories of this city than I ever knew before. It's a really amazing way to get to know a city. So we really encourage people, whether they're locals or visitors to the city, and we love welcoming our visitors from all overseas, particularly our Singaporean visitors. So we love to share this city and the stories here at the Museum of Brisbane and use it as really that starting point for your trip here to the city and maybe even to Australia.
Nice.
And what a wonderful thing that the Museum of Brisbane is housed in this amazing historical building.
Yeah, City
right?
Hall.
The
Yeah.
Brisbane City Hall.
Is this where Daphne can get married if she finds someone on this trip?
Oh, yes. True love up the clock tower.
Oh.
We'd love to be part of that story. There are, absolutely.
Oh,
There's
really?
so many stories of first love, first kisses on top of the clock tower.
So wait, so people can climb up to the clock tower?
Yeah, we take people. There's a beautiful old a tour. So
Okay.
we run tours. They're the tours that we run every 15 minutes, every day of the week. They're free. You can jump online and book your spot or come into the museum and do so. But I'd encourage everyone to book because they're really, really popular.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's about a 12-minute trip with one of our amazing guides here at the museum. You go up, you stop in the middle and have a look at the 4 clock faces and the amazing grandfather clocks, and then head up to the top where you can get out and walk around and have an amazing view of Brisbane.
I don't know why, but in my dating brain, I was like, you should do a singles one just for singles.
Look, it might be on the agenda. We'll get you back for it.
I mean, speaking of agenda, like what's coming up for the
What's
Museum of
coming up?
Brisbane?
Well, right here at the moment, we're surrounded by 3 really incredible, actually 4. The museum is full of amazing stories and artworks that really tell our visitors about who we are here in Brisbane, the history of this city, the people and the places, the events that have shaped who we are today. Right now, and for the rest of this year, we've got the incredible exhibition over here to our right, Rearranged Art of the Flower. And this is really a love story to the flower. So our curatorial team know how much artists across all times, across all cultures, have continually come back to this idea of the flower. We've got a little sneak peek from where we're sitting here of some beautiful still lives. So really traditional artworks that artists for many, many centuries have gone to as kind of core to what they do. But then as you move into the exhibition, and you'll see some nods to the beautiful design of a Queenslander home, which is a really important architectural design here in Brisbane. So there's some lovely nods to that through the space, and lots of responses to this idea of the flower by contemporary artists. So it's a really lush and beautiful and quite peaceful exhibition to experience.
Nice.
Amazing. I wanted to ask, so I feel like maybe a lot of the time you might get asked what's your favorite part of the museum, but do you have a favorite time of year at the museum? Because you've been here almost a year.
Yeah, look, we love every day here at the Museum of Brisbane. We really do. We love seeing happy people coming in with their families, lots of people coming in by themselves too. Museums and galleries are a wonderful place to come, particularly if you're visiting a city and maybe you're travelling alone, to come, and you don't need to be with someone else to enjoy the art. The days that I really love are when it's the holidays, when we're really bustling and there's visitors of all ages. Just last week and in our summer holidays and mid-year holiday programs, this space that we're sitting here is absolutely brimming with children and grown-ups involved in making. So they're taking clues and prompts from the beautiful exhibitions around and getting hands-on. It's not often you get to do that in a museum. It's a lot of don't touch. But here at the museum, we really like to encourage people to get in and have a go and express their own creativity. So the summer school holidays are probably my favourite time of year.
Nice. And we're sitting in front of a room that actually looks like a miniature workshop of sorts. Yeah. Is that where people get creative? Is that what's
it is. This is part of an incredible program we have here at the Museum of Brisbane called our Artist in Residence program. So each year we invite 6 to 10 different artists over the course of the year to respond to a theme, an idea that they're interested in. This space behind us has been taken over by an incredible Brisbane artist, Hiromi Tango. She's Japanese-Australian. Her space is called Hana Bira, which means gentle petal. And when you go into that space, you'll feel a great sense of calm. Hiromi is interested in colour theory and the impact of colour on people's emotions and mood. So the team work closely with the artist to create a really vibrant but calming space. And then the artist is inviting our visitors to get hands-on and to contribute to the growing community garden. So everyone can make their own little flowers and dedications and add to the big garland of flowers in the space.
Maybe that's why I'm feeling so calm this morning.
Yeah, possibly.
I am unusually calm. I'm usually like the rowdiest guy in the room.
Always on edge.
That's true. But I'm so calm.
Zoe, you've been mentioning
Someone
a lot
give me a blood pressure monitor.
No, you're fine. You mentioned a lot of local artists. Does the Museum of Brisbane only showcase local artists?
Yeah, for the most part, our focus is on local artists, but also we interpret that quite broadly. So it might be artists who do live here, or it might be artists that have some sort of connection. Maybe they grew up here, or they've studied here, or perhaps they're working with an artist or a community that are based here in Brisbane. So for us, the starting point is this city, the stories of the city. So we're always looking for the brightest, the most interesting artists who can bring a new perspective to this city, to the understandings of this place.
Nice, okay.
Now, I'm sure you've collaborated with, quite a number of partners over the years. Could you tell us about some of the fun collaborations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sitting where we are right now, the one behind us, so you see some beautiful, beautiful designs behind us. Chantel Fraser, who's a fantastic Brisbane-based artist who collaborated with the community to create these incredible adorned head masks and representations of culture and themselves. And then from that collaboration, the artist took those ideas and created this incredible vinyl installation. So on the walls behind us, you can see the collaboration of thousands of visitors.
Kiss 92 traffic.
We've got the usual delays across the expressways. No sign of any major problems at this point, but you will need some patience, particularly if you're on the AYE. There are quite a few slowdowns there. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn, Angel, and Daphne right here in Brisbane, Australia. We are currently in the Museum of Brisbane, and we are with the CEO, Zoe Graham. Now, Zoe, when we were on The Big Show TV earlier on, I was asking you the question about partnerships over the years. Could you tell us once again some of the fun collaborations?
Absolutely. The work that you can see behind us, and for those that can't see, it's a beautiful, vibrant collage of bedazzled, sparkly, interesting objects. This came out of a collaboration with the community, and this is something we love doing here at the Museum of Brisbane, is finding contemporary artists to work with our visitors and invite audiences in to collaborate to make a work. So this work behind us by Chantel Fraser wasn't done by the artist by herself. She sat in our creative studio for about a month last November, invited the community in to sit with her and talk about a whole range of things around body and identity and culture, and to create these beautiful adorned head masks and headpieces. She then took those collaborative works and created this incredible vinyl artwork that really is sitting here right at the heart of the Museum of Brisbane. So that's something we really love to do here at the museum, is find ways for artists and the community to collaborate.
Now, if you're listening to us on air and you're wondering what exactly Zoe is talking about and what it looks like, you can actually do that, because for the first time in radio history, you can actually see where we are. So get onto Facebook, get onto YouTube, it's Kiss 92 FM, and then see this beautiful backdrop that we've got here within City Hall in the Museum of Brisbane.
All right, it's 8:13.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. Putian would like to thank you for your unwavering support and for awarding Putian as the #1 Fujian cuisine brand in the world. Each of our
Okay. Back on The Big Show TV.
So, Zoe, how do you curate what goes within the museum? How long do you, the decision of how long an exhibit should stay, when it's time to move on to the next?
That's the really fun part of the job. So we've got no, it's really fun. It really is.
It's not sarcasm fun.
No, like real fun. So we've got an incredible team here of curators, researchers, designers. The starting point for any exhibition can come from anywhere across the team or from an artist. In fact, you might come to us with an idea. Most often it starts with one of our curators, so they might know of an artist or a particular artwork that they're interested in using as kind of a starting point. And from there, an exhibition like Rearranged, this idea of the flower and the role that flowers play in everyday life was the starting point. And then the curatorial team, they know who's who, they know who's hot in the art world and what interesting stories we have in our collection here at Museum of Brisbane. And then they work together over, they generally take a year or longer, sometimes 2 or 3 years to develop an exhibition of the scale of something like Rearranged. It's absolutely, we were speaking about collaboration. It's a really collaborative effort, particularly here at the museum. So the curator, our designers, our programming, so our learn and engagement team all work together we really want to make sure our visitors have a very rich and delightful experience here with us. So we're not just thinking about what's on the wall, but what they're doing when they come here, what else they're seeing, what they might be able to buy in our amazing shop, the clock tower tour, that real wraparound experience.
Apart from the clock tower tour, are there other tours?
There are. We run gallery highlights tours every day, and I'd really recommend that as a great way to get a bit of a snapshot of what's on at the museum. They're free as well. We also run tours of City Hall, so that's a great way to get into the history of this city. So by diving deep into, you kind of go right down into the bowels of this amazing building, and you can learn a lot about this city through the history of this building. We also run a whole range of incredible walking tours of the city, which are so much fun. So you must jump online to museumofbrisbane.com.au to book those tours.
Like, how long would one need to see everything within? I know the city tour would be a longer thing, but to see everything within the Museum of Brisbane with the clock tower tour, how long would one need?
Look, you can do the visit here. You could do a short whip around just to see a few highlights. The museum highlights tours are sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you might wander into the gentle petal space and make your own flower to put into the community garden. If you've got a bit more time and you feel like a longer leisurely stroll and you want to dive deep into the stories, 2 hours would be wonderful, a wonderful way to really get to know this place and the beautiful stories that we have here at the museum.
So if you're coming over here and you have children, I think we also have things for your children to do. The Museum of Brisbane Learn.
So we love kids here, and we love kids because they're lots of fun. We love kids as well because they're not just the museum and gallery goers of the future, they're the museum and gallery goers of now. We know that children, right from babies through to teens, can have really rich experiences of seeing new things, connecting with new ideas, having some special time maybe with their parents or their grandparents. So that's really important to us here. The other part of what we do is through more formal education, our Learn programs. So this is where we create really fantastic programs for schools, so for primary and secondary. So school groups can come in and dive deep into history, as well as working with some of the contemporary artists and ideas that we have here at the museum.
And can kids that are visiting join any of the programs, or does it have to be a long-term commitment?
No, the programs that we run for kids and families run all year. So we have everything from every day at the front desk. We have the I Spy, which is a really fun little activity that, trust me, I've got a 4-year-old, keeps them occupied and hands off for about 15, 20 minutes.
That's what you want, right?
It is what you want. Yeah, absolutely. So lots of free and drop-in opportunities for kids.
Speaking of children, I see 3 wandering around just behind you. But are there permanent fixtures that people absolutely have to see, or what are the permanent features here in the museum?
We look here to have a really dynamic, changing experience. So every couple of years or every couple of months, we will transform the exhibition content. Yeah, so in the middle of the year, the exhibition over here to our left, Making Place, will come down. It's been up for about 2 years and really much loved, and we'll be bringing out a brand new show, which is going to be really amazing. The permanent fixtures here, we've got some incredible works from our collection that stay on permanent display that also talk about our Aboriginal culture and the history of this place through the eyes of Aboriginal people and artists.
Which is so important.
So important, and we know that our visitors from overseas really love getting up close and connecting with those stories of Aboriginal culture and people in Australia. So that's something I'd put top of the list.
All right. So what are the operating hours here at the Museum of Brisbane now that we see, members of the public coming into the museum?
We are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. and free every day.
Every day.
Free every day. Wow.
The timings are the same.
That's right.
Free.
Yep, 10.
Free.
Oh my goodness. You'll never get that in Singapore.
We're going on air soon.
Stand by.
92 traffic.
The KJE towards the BKE, a vehicle broken down after the Sungai Tengah exit. Queensway underpass towards the AYE, an accident at the underpass. Avoid the left lane. On the PIE towards Changi, we have a vehicle broken down after Lorne Road. We've got the usual delays across the expressways as well. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It is Glenn, Angel, and Daphne coming to you live from Brisbane in Australia. And we hope you're enjoying yourselves listening to us as well as watching us live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Our very special guest, our very first guest for this week is the CEO of the Museum of Brisbane, Zoe Graham. Thank you once again for having us, Zoe.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here.
We're so happy to have chosen this as our first day of broadcast. Zoe, people can come look around, people can come tour, they can climb up the clock tower, they can do lots of stuff, all free at cost, but they can't get little insights like behind the scenes snippets that you could possibly give us about the day-to-day here at the museum. You know, just before the doors open, what goes on?
Oh, just before the doors open, one of my favourite things to do is to pop up and our incredible visitor experience team. So this is the amazing staff here at Museum of Brisbane who you can see on the floor of the museum. They're here to welcome our visitors, to provide some of those really amazing tidbits and behind stories about the artworks and the objects here in the museum. And we have a little team huddle every morning to talk about the day, to talk about what's on. It's a really nice way for all of the visitor experience team to get ready to welcome our visitors. That's who we're here for, are all of our visitors, and you'll see the really happy, smiling faces the minute you walk into Level 3 here in City Hall.
The moment we came in, we felt the warmth.
We felt it when we walked in.
Exactly. Shout out to Rachel as well as David. I mean, we've been in here since what time?
2 a.m. Yeah, something like that. No. Yes, it's been warmth all the way through.
You've got an amazing crew. We have an amazing crew. It's been so nice meeting you, Zoe. Thank you so much for joining us and talking to us today.
Thank you for choosing Museum of Brisbane to host. It's wonderful to have you and enjoy the rest of your time in Brisbane.
And Singapore, this is a must visit, okay? When you're in Brisbane, you have to come to the Museum of Brisbane. Once again, thank you so much, Zoe.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Up next, we have My Little Walkabout with Blair Alsop earlier on. Enjoy it.
I gotta come back and get married.
No, we're still live. We're still live. We're still live. We're just playing a video on. No, you're okay.
Oh, that's what I did just now. Play the video.
It's actually Australia's biggest city hall. So it's very large. It cost over £1 million to build. It was the largest public works project in Australia before the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So it's a very, very important city hall. The people of Brisbane, over 1 million people have been through this city hall, either for citizenship ceremonies, weddings, high school graduations. So the people of Brisbane really identify with it. In fact, our city logo is a drawing of the City Hall.
Ah, okay. So Singapore, when you come to Brisbane, you've got to visit this beautiful building, Brisbane City Hall. Good morning, Singapore. We are here in sunny Brisbane, and I have with me the Brisbane expert right now. He's a Brisbane city expert. He is the one and only Blair Alsop. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us, and We're here in this beautiful square next to this beautiful historical building, and we were in there actually, the Museum of Brisbane. But tell us a little bit more about Brisbane City Hall, this beautiful building here.
So this Brisbane City Hall was built in the 1920s. It's actually Australia's biggest city hall. So it's very large. It cost over £1 million to build. It was the largest public works project in Australia before the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So it's a very, very important city hall. The people of Brisbane, over 1 million people have been through this city hall, either for citizenship ceremonies, weddings, high school graduations. So the people of Brisbane really identify with it. In fact, our city logo is a drawing of the city hall.
Ah, okay. So Singapore, when you come to Brisbane, you've got to visit this beautiful building, Brisbane City Hall. All right, now Blair, we are here at Queen Street Mall.
That's right.
Now, how famous is this stretch?
This is the retail center of Brisbane. So I know you love to shop, and all the big shops are in here, international shops as well as uniquely Australian stores.
Hear that, Singapore? This will be your favorite street here in Brisbane, okay? It's like the Orchard Road of Brisbane. There's Uniqlo, there's H&M, there's Louis Vuitton here.
Louis Vuitton in a beautifully restored old bank building. And then we also have, as I said, uniquely Australian companies like R.M. Williams. So if you want to get something with a bit of that Australian flavor, like a hat or boots, this would be a place to come.
It's a nice hat, Blair.
Thanks.
And what about this? This looks like a work of art.
This is for the winter garden, and that's to look like a garden. It's all done in steel. The beauty about this is at night, it all lights up. There's 35,000 LEDs behind here. And the lighting engineer that did this used to do the lighting and staging for the rock band U2.
Did you hear that?
So this is like a rock concert at night without a band in front of it.
I came here during the day. Got to come here later in the evening. All right, Blair, tell us about Burnett Lane.
Burnett Lane is the oldest street in Brisbane, but it's also the street that has hidden treasures.
Oh, wow, it's special.
Below us here is one of those hidden tiny doors. There are about 20 of these doors around Brisbane. This one actually shows a hotel and Santa spending his summer vacation here in Brisbane, but in his own little tiny hotel.
That's so cute.
Yeah, when you're here, go and see if you can find them all.
Hear that, Singapore? Thank you, Blair.
Thanks again.
I love that.
Isn't
It's
that
like
amazing?
like a little treasure hunt.
Tiny doors.
We need to go look for all those tiny doors. That's fantastic. So, yeah, we want to...
Anyway, right now we have Lorelle Chittick with us. Good morning, Lorelle.
Good morning.
And Lorelle, of course, is the general manager at BEDA.
That's
Yes.
right. And BEDA is basically Business and Major Events Brisbane Economic Development Agency. Can you just tell us about those doors, though? Can you tell us where they are? No, we don't need to find out all, but... I mean, is that a thing that people do when they come to Brisbane, almost like a treasure hunt?
Along Burnett Lane.
Absolutely. It is just a way that people travelling to Brisbane can just interact with the city, have a bit of fun. The children love it. It did start out as very much a family sort of friendly activity, but you just see adults getting in and around the city. Yeah, it is a little bit of a treasure hunt, and it takes you all across the city, so it's so fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's so funny when...
only across the city.
Yes, all across the city.
So when Blair took me around there and he said, okay, let me show you some tiny doors.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at the doors and they looked
Normal size?
rather regular, smaller than normal.
Yeah.
But he said, no, those are not the doors I'm talking about. Look down there. I'm like, what?
Such
Literally
a fun thing.
tiny
I'm going to
doors.
be looking out for that.
It's so fun. They're hidden around our little laneways, and we like to say Brisbane is really where the magic happens. So, yeah, who knows what's behind those little tiny doors?
Should we really try to open them? So tell us, Lorelle, what's the role of BEDA?
Yes, so BEDA, we are Brisbane's Economic Development Agency. So I have the wonderful role of being the General Manager for tourism, for business events and major events. So the role of BEDA is really promoting Brisbane as a destination for people to want to visit, to want to do business and to want to meet, study and have fun.
You must love your job. Sounds like fun.
Absolutely love it.
A lot of work,
There's-
I'm sure.
Yes.
But a lot of fun.
Yes, there's always something happening in Brisbane. We do a lot to attract new major events and visitors to our city, but yeah, absolutely thrilled and love the role.
Now, you say major events and business events. Can you tell us some of the upcoming projects that are going to be happening in Brisbane and what we can expect to see maybe in the coming months and years?
there is a lot happening. I know you've spent a bit of time out and about, but we've got one of our major projects is Queen's Wharf. So Queen's Wharf is an integrated resort development opening later this year. So for us, it's been many years in the making, and a lot of similarities to Singapore, actually. The way it was described to us before it was starting to be built is very much modelled on Marina Bay Sands. And we really feel this will change the dynamic and change the aesthetic of our city. So it's an integrated resort complex, a number of new hotels. We've got over 100 luxury fashion brands that will be housed throughout that facility, over 50 dining precincts, and right on our river in the heart of the city. So again, will be fabulous.
I love Brisbane.
And of
You
course,
I've been here a few
casino,
days,
right?
right?
Only a few days and you love it.
I'm loving it every single day I'm here.
And you discover something new each day,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I hope you've really felt the warmth of our city. That's one thing we do pride ourselves on. Obviously, subtropical temperature, but the welcoming nature of the people of Brisbane.
Absolutely.
We're a smaller city compared to some of our other southern counterparts across Australia, but really welcoming city, easy to get around, very safe.
Yeah. I was about to ask you the question, what makes Brisbane stand out, among all the other cities like Melbourne and Sydney?
Yeah, so for me, I get the pleasure of travelling all around the world, talking about Brisbane and promoting our city. I'm Brisbane born and bred, and what really stands out for Brisbane as a capital city is that it really does have the best of everything that Australia offers in one location or close by. So we are a world-class city. We have everything that you would want from a city vacation. We have galleries. We have a phenomenal dining and nightlife scene. We have beautiful hotels, gorgeous 5-star hotels, the West End, the W, and a lot of boutique hotels as well.
So perfectly located as well.
Yeah. So really, within 60 minutes, you can travel out to Tangalooma Island Resort. So crystal clear water, dolphins, you can see humpback whales at different times of the year, sandboarding, like beautiful sand, white sand beaches. But then just again, another 60 minutes from our city is our hinterland. So you can really get up close in nature with those rainforests, really engage yourself with a lot of green space.
It's almost like she knows our whole itinerary. Because you mentioned Tangalooma, and we have a video of Tangalooma coming up right after we speak to you. And then you mentioned hinterlands, of which we're going to be going to in the middle of the week to Lone Pines as well as O'Reilly's. So you've got it all down pat.
Fabulous.
Why should Singaporeans come to Queensland?
Yeah, I think for Singaporeans, I love Singapore myself. I travel there multiple times a year. And for me, I think Singaporeans have that affinity with living or enjoying an urban city. They love their nightlife, their retail, love a good shop, love food, but really then appreciate nature. So I think
you know us so well.
Yeah, so I think it's that appreciating the green space.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Usual delays across the expressways. Looks like our broken down vehicles have all been removed, and that's good news for you. Just a little bit of patience as you head off to work this morning. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. For those of you who are watching us on The Big Show TV, you would have had a preview of the very special lady we've been talking to. She is the General Manager for Tourism, Business and Major Events at BEDA. And BEDA stands for the Brisbane Economic Development Agency. Let's put our hands together for Lorelle Chittick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lorelle. I mean, for someone who's listening to us on the radio right now specifically, tell us a little bit more about the role of BEDA.
Yep. So the role of BEDA, we are Brisbane's Economic Development Agency. So we have the role of promoting Brisbane for tourism, for business events and major events. So again, just really promoting Brisbane globally as the place you want to come and visit, you want to come and do business and just enjoy, relax and have a great time.
And when we were talking to you before on The Big Show TV, you were talking about how, there are different places. Like I was born in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in Melbourne. But I have to say that coming to Brisbane, I do see a lot of the things that I like, the best parts of where I went to school and where I lived in Brisbane. And so I feel like it's not talked about enough. And it's so great that, we have this ability to find out, especially this trip and through you, what what Brisbane has to offer.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, I really think Brisbane is such a hidden gem of Australia. We've been overshadowed, I think, for many years from some of the other larger cities around Australia. We got the opportunity to be announced as the host city of the Brisbane 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's really started to put Brisbane on the map. I think our Google hits, exceeded 150%, like over the charts in terms of when we were announced as that host city. So for us, people are getting curious around what is Brisbane, what's there to see and do, what makes Brisbane special. So it's giving us the role in BEDA to really capitalise on that and being able to share Brisbane's story.
So that's my next question, actually, because when you say Queensland, when you say Brisbane, people think Sunshine Coast, Surfers Paradise, and, Movie World, Dream World, Sea World.
Yeah.
What else does Brisbane have? Because we've seen some of it, but we'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, so we're the capital city of Queensland. So we always talk about there are so many fabulous places across our whole state, but make Brisbane your first choice. Spend a few days to discover our city. So we are an urban city. Again, Singaporeans, everything that Singaporeans love. You've got shopping, food, great hotels, like fabulous brand name five-star hotels, as well as boutique offering. But just the ability to walk around, explore. We've got a wonderful river that you can jump on, one of our free city cats, do a river cruise, enjoy the nightlife. Great restaurants. So again, a great city vibe, but then you have the benefit of being so close to the coastal bay and islands. We've got Tangalooma resort just off our shores. Get a helicopter over there for a bit of a luxe trip, or there's a ferry service that goes over to that island as well. And then we're so close to nature in terms of our hinterland and our green spaces.
Yeah, and after all that, there's still so much more to do here in Brisbane. When we were told by our friends at Tourism Australia, that we're coming over here, we were so very, very excited. And I'm sure everyone watching us right now also appreciates, the video highlights that we've been, showing everyone, of our visits to the places we visited over the weekend. And I'm confident that at the end of the week, more Singaporeans will be planning their trip to Brisbane as well. All right. Once again, we're speaking to Lorelle Chittick, the General Manager for Tourism, Business and Major Events. All right. And we'll continue to talk to Lorelle on The Big Show TV. Up next, Ava Max. This is My Oh My on KISS 92.
So, Lorelle, as a Queenslander, what is your personal favorite spot to go to? It could be something to eat, something to do. Where would you go?
Okay, in and around Brisbane, I often have to play host to friends and family visiting from interstate or overseas. I love food. I love going out and dining and just exploring new spots. So one of my favourite places is a little area called Fish Lane. So it's just across the river from where we are. But yeah, a great little hidden spot, some fabulous restaurants, a great little gelato store. Again, a really great mix of cuisines, adorned with public art. So they've got a lot of art murals. I think there is a tiny door to even find along the space as well.
In my Google Maps right now.
So absolutely love that. I always put that on my list of places to show people.
Beautiful.
I have to say, too, one thing that you cannot find in Singapore that you can find that we have here in Brisbane right now, and Maul actually mentioned, is the weather has been so amazing since we got here. And it's not something you get in Singapore because it's super humid and super hot all the time. But the weather's been beautiful.
We have two weathers, rain or shine.
Yeah, rain or sun.
The one thing we get a lot of comments on when we have international visitors is about the colours. They're saying it is amazing just, once you arrive at the airport, just the colours. And it actually took me by surprise a little bit. You take it for granted living here. But actually just seeing the blue colour of the sky, the green foliage.
Clouds,
very
we're saying,
green.
look fake. They look like they were manufactured because they're so perfect
That's
looking.
the first thing she said as we left the airport. She goes, have you seen the sky?
That was my reaction as well.
And the sunsets, whether you're from the city or, over on one of our coastal islands.
We caught the
We were there
sunset
yesterday when we were at Tangalooma Resort.
Island Resort,
Yes.
yeah. How would you describe the lifestyle of a Queenslander? You know, I mean, you guys obviously, I mean, compared to Singapore, we're always rush, rush, rush. You know, it is a very fast city. You guys are typically in Australia very laid back, more laid back. But in Queensland, how would you describe a typical day?
Yeah, there's very much Queenslander lifestyle. It does generally mean people do want to rise early and just capitalise on our beautiful weather and beautiful environment. So a lot of people have, get up early, want to be by the river, do some exercise, so get out and about, whether that's a stroll or a run or some yoga.
Yeah.
We are big lovers of breakfast and brunch. Again, you'll notice a lot of breakfast restaurants or great venues serving brunch. So a typical day is going enjoying brunch or breakfast with a group of friends. And then we mentioned about weather. It is getting out outside and embracing our weather. So again, getting onto the river, kayaking on our river or doing something active out and about. We do have a lot of indoor activities and indoor venues as well. So again, it's generally, catching either a music gig, going to one of our galleries. But the lifestyle, that Queensland lifestyle is not always rush. It is just a slower pace. We are still professional in our nature, but we go about really embracing our environment, respecting our environment, but just doing it at a slower pace.
Yeah.
And it's really lovely.
I hear UB40 is coming to town.
Yes, I saw the posters out here, right.
We have a question actually on Facebook. Eddie asks, how long should one stay in Brisbane? And late December, a good time to visit? Because it's summer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So summer, what you'll notice is just the weather does get warmer. But we've got the benefit of having so many hotels with beautiful swim-up bars. We've got, again, we talked about Tangalooma Island Resort. We have a beautiful coastal islands environment. So there's always beautiful bay breezes. There's places, if you find the weather is a bit too warm, there's places to escape the heat. A lot of indoor activities as well, some of our major events to undertake. But late December, fabulous time of year. A lot of people are starting to go on holidays, enjoying the post-Christmas or New Year celebration break. There is always a lot going on in our city over that time. So I would say the perfect time, a few days in our city. But you can absolutely base yourself in Brisbane and still see the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast. We are less than an hour's drive to the theme parks. So you can base yourself in Brisbane, spend a few days exploring Brisbane, travel down to have a day on the Gold Coast, have a day at the theme parks. There's so much you still can do, all from this one location.
Amazing. I mean, this definitely sounds like the perfect spot to go to as you said, base yourself and then move outwards. What are you most excited for 2024?
Yeah, I think the opening of Queen's Wharf, our beautiful integrated resort facility. So again, shaping up to be an absolute game changer. So very, very excited. Lots of retail, lots of new dining spots, beautiful hotels. But on our major events front, we've got a little character called Bluey. I'm not sure if you heard of Bluey.
Yes. When we went to Eat Street, we saw the entire
Bluey's World
is coming up.
Yeah,
all the children must be very excited.
Thrilled. So Bluey's home is Brisbane. All of the episodes are featured in and around Brisbane. Even though Bluey,
he's a blue healer, isn't he?
Blue healer.
Yeah, that's
right. It's actually a she.
It's a she.
Yes.
Bluey. I know about Bluey.
Yeah, she is. There's Bluey's World, which is an immersive experience that's opening up later this year. So they've recreated digitally.
We'll go on, Erin.
Okay.
About that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taylor Swift with Cruel Summer right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. It's Glenn, Angel, and Daphne coming to you live from the Museum of Brisbane. We are in Australia. And our guest right now is Lorelle Chittick, the General Manager for Tourism, Business, and Major Events at the Brisbane Economic Development Agency. Once again, good morning, Lorelle.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Lorelle. Okay, so we were talking quite a bit on the Big Show TV. So if you're just tuning in now, please go to our Facebook and YouTube. You can watch that at your own leisure. But we'd like to talk to Lorelle about what you're most excited for the city for the year.
Yep. Coming up, we've got the opening of Queen's Wharf. So it's a new integrated resort development right in the heart of our city on the beautiful Brisbane River.
I've been looking at it every day.
Stunning.
You were just waiting for it to open.
Cannot wait. So
Yes.
opening in August.
I'm like, I see the carpets already. They've carpeted the area. It's almost done.
Yeah. So lots of new restaurants, retail, they've got a casino. So again, a fabulous new development. Also looking forward to, we've got a number of big blockbuster major events. So one I'm most excited about is called Bluey's World. So it's an interactive redevelopment really of Bluey's house. So again, really exciting, will be great for families, will be great for all ages actually.
And this is happening out at Eat Street, at North Shore, right?
It is,
Okay.
yes. So Bluey is Blue Healer from the Bluey TV show. Bluey's home is in Brisbane. So it's all based, her little home is fictional up in Paddington, so a little precinct just out of the city.
And that's a real precinct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what they've done with Bluey's World is recreated the whole of Bluey's house in this one immersive experience. So you can walk through, actually, go through, experience Bluey and Bingo's house, walk out the back, see their backyard, sit on the poinciana tree that often features in a lot of the series.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
you've just made a lot of children very
I
happy.
know.
Yeah.
Wait, so when does it open?
October this
In
year.
October, okay.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
August and October is the time to come.
Yeah.
Wait, Daphne's going into an Aussie accent.
She's hit the switch.
Yeah.
She said it would happen. It's starting to happen.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's been 3 days.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lorelle, for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure, and all the very best.
Thank you so much. Look forward to welcoming Singaporeans to Brisbane soon.
Thank you, Singapore. Once again, Brisbane is the place to be.
And
Come
don't go
on
anywhere
down.
because join us on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. You're going to see what we got up to in Tangalooma and Tangalooma Island Resort.
Up next, Daughtry. Here's What About Now on KISS 92. It's a beautiful day here in Brisbane, and I'm so honored to have with me the skipper of the Tangalooma Flyer, the queen of the fleet. He is the skipper, Lockie. Hi, Lockie.
G'day, g'day. How you doing?
I'm good. It's beautiful here in Brisbane. Now, we're on the Tangalooma Flyer right now, and I'm just so impressed that you do commentary as we make our way to Moreton Island. Thank you so much for letting me
That's all right.
take your seat.
It's a nice seat, isn't it?
We're okay, huh? I realize there is no wheel here.
No.
How do you control?
So we got little buttons here.
Okay.
So I got this set and a second set up there as a backup.
Right.
So red is to go left, port. Green is to go right, starboard. So they actually indicate nav lights as well. So you always have green on the right, red on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So when we just push the button, just opens a hydraulic valve for a couple of seconds, just let the bit of hydraulic fluid through, just moves the rudders a little bit.
We're in good fingers, everybody.
That's it, I hope so.
How long have you been doing this, Lockie?
So 1.5 years driving and then 5.5 years working here, total experience.
Brilliant. And thank you so much, Skipper Lockie, for talking to us. And you want to say hi to everyone in Singapore?
Hello, Singapore.
When
Come visit us.
Yes, come visit us. And if you're on the Tangalooma Flyer, look for this man.
Look for Lockie.
Lockie is the man.
That's the one.
So the dolphins come in every evening for feeding, but how far do they travel from to get here?
Yeah, so these dolphins are wild dolphins. So we have 9 in the pod. So the numbers vary every night. It just depends on, if they're out there hunting, catching their own food, because they're not dependent on the program in any way.
And why do you think that is they come to this particular bay? Because they're wild, they're not given instructions to come here or anything.
Absolutely. So how the program started was around about 30 years ago. Lights were installed on the jetty. And by those lights being installed, the lights attract a lot of fish to the area, which attracted the dolphins. And that's how the program started. And the resort, they did need to get a special permit from the Australian government for staff to take guests out into the water to hand feed a wild dolphin, because it is illegal to hand feed a wild dolphin outside of a permitted program. And we also have very strict rules and regulations that everybody has to obey when they do go out and hand feed the dolphins.
What exactly do you feed the dolphins?
Well, we feed the dolphins a type of herring, so it's high in fat, low in bone content.
Is that the kind of fish that they get in the wild as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, so it's very similar. So we feed them a very high quality fish. We need to because they're wild dolphins, and if they didn't like the fish that we were feeding them, they simply wouldn't come in. They'd be out there hunting and catching their own live fresh fish.
Wow, that was
How
so
about
much
that?
fun, wasn't that? Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
And that was one of my bucket list items, to feed wild dolphins. But another bucket list item got ticked off in our next video as well.
Wait, but before that, I
What?
just need to tell everyone,
Yeah,
okay?
tell us.
If you go for the, dolphin feeding, you cannot touch the dolphin.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
You're the one that
illegal.
said in Singapore you wanted to put your finger in their blowhole. You did, though. You said it on air.
That's what I said in Singapore.
Yeah.
I didn't say it here.
You don't think that anymore, right?
You know, I was just joking when I said that. No, of course not. But I did want to pet the dolphin because it was so
allowed,
close. But just to let you guys know, you're not allowed to do that.
But they're
still,
allowed to
an
bump you.
amazing experience.
They're allowed to touch you. They are
You're
wild
not allowed to
animals.
touch them.
Correct.
Yeah, for
You cannot touch them, but they can touch you.
Hands off.
Should we make the same rule for you?
Kind of like,
Glenn?
when you go for a, kind of like
we
when
can
you,
touch you, you can't touch anyone.
yeah, kind of like the last lap dance I had.
Oh,
I'm
well,
kidding.
Glenn,
I'm kidding.
it's
Once
a
again,
this
I'm
is a
kidding.
family show, Glenn.
Yes, it is a family show. Okay, so the next two experiences, I think we need to give them a running commentary.
Absolutely.
I wasn't part of this first part, so you guys go.
Okay.
The heli
Happy to.
ride.
The heli ride. So there we go. Daphne and I very excited to get on our first chopper ride.
I wanted to go. They said no.
Yes.
No space for you, Glenn.
No space for
Exactly.
you. Ladies first.
So we did the 15-minute, was it 12-minute or 15-minute?
12, something
12
like
minute.
that, yeah.
And we got to go up, and he was showing us the animals. We got to see the size of the island. We got to see even the lighthouse very, very far
But look at
away.
that spectacular helicopter
Oh
right
my
there.
goodness.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Like he
Beautiful
he flew
helicopter.
us out all the way to the northern part of the island where Cape Moreton is. Now from Cape Moreton is actually where you can do whale watching from in the months of May and June. So that's coming right up. I mean, if you haven't planned your mid-year holidays as well, this might be a great time to plan to come out to Brisbane and do a couple of days visit on Tangalooma Island
Yeah.
Resort.
Correct.
I think you can. They recommend 2 days. I think you could do 4, like to do chill at one activity a day,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
a massage.
But just focused on this helicopter ride once again. It's very affordable.
It-
all right.
it is,
so
yeah.
so you guys highly recommend it.
And
I'm
if
sure.
you see the different colors of the water, that basically represents the depth of the ocean. So the lighter it is, the shallower, and the darker it is, the deeper it is. Like here, you see a really light bit. That just means that the sand is much closer to the surface of the water, and you can actually see the reflection of the helicopter. And you also see
is
a
that the-
dugong as well. That's a dugong right there. That spot in
The
the
little
water
spot, the little
at the
spot.
bottom of
Are
the
you
screen.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
that
It's
was
so
a
small.
dugong.
I can't see anything.
Of course, because we were so high up, right? So here you can actually see the texture of the sand under the water. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
The sights, I've never seen anything like it before.
This is the Tangalooma wrecks. These are old dredging ships that they have intentionally put there to help the biodiversity of
Yeah.
the marine life. So you get lots of coral growing
And
on
that's
it.
what the Australians do best.
Yes, they do. They care for the marine life at the best.
And that's why it's so
You could-
beautiful. The surroundings are beautiful.
You can also is it
Snorkeling,
dive?
yeah,
and-
snorkeling,
and,
yeah.
go through the.
Glenn, your turn, your turn. Take
Here
over
we
this
go.
part.
Here we go. I mean, you guys are part of this as well. The ATV ride. These are quad bikes, of course. And if you guys feel like, I'm so scared of being a part of this, don't.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're scared you're too small, guess what? I'm the smallest, and I still rode the biggest bike.
Yeah, look
They
at
got
Daphne.
baby bikes as
Man,
well.
Daphne looked like she was riding a bull, man.
And if you're afraid, you can also tandem ride as well if you need somebody else
Correct,
to drive
but what they do is they actually teach you. So you go on a practice route, and until if you're comfortable, they'll take you guys out. If you're not comfortable, then they'll probably make sure you get really comfortable on the quad bike. So it's totally safe. And the guys, from this ATV company are also fantastic.
Yes, Yeah,
I forget
really
the
look
name.
out
I
for
forget
you.
the name of the company, but I mean that's only
only one on the island.
or two on the island.
No, there's one resort. There's one helicopter
Same
company.
staff for There you go. Look at Daphne Khoo. Look at Daphne Khoo. You know,
Vroom, vroom.
that quad bike was way too big for you.
It was
actually.
way too big.
It was amazing. It was perfect.
Your
size.
legs were straight.
I know. Yeah, they were saying they were
Yeah.
filming and they thought I was standing. You're not supposed to stand on the ATV, but I was sitting down.
I think if Daphne, if they put Daphne in front instead of you, Angel, I think maybe she would have gone a bit faster. No.
Then you can only go as fast as the guy that's leading. There was somebody else in
Because for
front of
Daphne,
me.
she puts a whole weight on the.
On the
Oh,
what?
no, sorry.
No,
it
it's
was,
not the pedal.
yes,
Yes, it's your thumb that has to
Correct,
be
correct.
strong.
I was
So,
making it up.
As you can see, you go through quite a lot of terrain. The sand is super soft. This is Moreton Island. That's the third largest sand island in the world.
Yeah.
So the sand is super powdery. Same on the beach. So it's quite challenging to actually maneuver these ATVs because of the soft sand.
Yeah.
But the views,
are
also
gorgeous.
were,
Yeah.
It's one thing to see it from high up, and it's another thing of beauty to see it as you're riding around. You know.
Yeah.
Look at her. Look at Daphne Khoo.
I loved having all that power between.
So I was looking at Daphne in my rear view mirror right now. I wanted to turn around and go like, Daphne, sit down.
She was sitting
Don't
down.
stand up.
She was.
But
sitting
I
down.
was so, I was only like 3/4 of the way through. I realized that I had been smiling with my mouth open the whole time because my throat was so sore.
Makes
dry.
for good photos.
Well, I was like, every photo you can see. I was
So it's like sand going in your mouth, or not?
I
No.
Probably, because I was behind you.
Oh, there
So
you
most
go.
likely. Every time there was a hum, Glenn would be
Oh my goodness. But let me just tell you, okay, keep a nice distance in front of you.
course.
Don't go too close. I mean, I made that mistake and I almost fell off my quad bike, quite frankly, because you couldn't see me behind, right? But
I know there was
I
a little
so
trouble
close to you.
happening, right?
This is my problem.
Don't
Even on the
tailgate.
roads in Singapore, it's like if I feel the person in front is not driving fast enough, I will deliberately tailgate the
So
person.
he was just trying to say that I wasn't driving fast enough, but I could only drive again as fast as the guy was leading.
The guy who was leading was expecting you to go faster.
No, he was not.
See, and that's the
He
reason
was
why
pacing. He
we
was
always
pacing.
have these arguments.
I would recommend that you wear sunglasses or bring your spectacles because the ones that I use from them have terrible visibility. I can
Oh,
barely
right,
see in
okay.
front of me.
Okay, and I have a good
Thanks
tip.
for not
as-
crashing into my backside.
I have a good
problem.
tip as well. If you're going to be putting sunblock, don't put anything on your forehead because my sunblock was dripping into my eyes and I was
tissue.
just tearing.
Yeah,
and
she was tearing,
I was
man.
driving with one eye open.
I was like, "What's up? Feed the dolphins, cry."
No.
Right? The quad bike cry.
We hadn't,
It's like, how come crying
we
all the
hadn't
time?
even fed the dolphins yet. At that
That's
point.
true, actually.
Anyway, we got lots more happening on the show today, including a chance for you to win $700 with PropNex. That will
Yes.
be run by the Flying Dutchman,
Your game master.
who is manning the studio and keeping it safe.
Hi,
for
FD.
us.
We are still missing you.
We are missing you terribly.
And FD told me, if you go drinking, drink for him.
We will have a
That's the
drink
reason
for
why
you.
I've been drinking double.
Yes.
Oh,
it's
is
all
it?
for you.
All
FD.
weekend. It's
Only
all
for
for you, FD.
Yes, because
It's
we
all for
think
you.
of you all the time.
But because this is a work week now, I've told everyone, including our lovely Stella, I said, no, I'm not going to be drinking this whole week. But then
Yeah.
again, I may be lying.
Famous last
We'll
words.
see.
All right, join us again tomorrow on The Big Show TV. Lots of exciting stuff happening from 8 o'clock.
Good day.
Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place.